Good afternoon, Holmes Road Church of Christ. Hope you're having a great Wednesday. I'm coming at you from a nice, snowy, beautiful Lansing here this morning. It's only 3 days left until Christmas. Looks like we might have a white Christmas. And I don't know about you, but sometimes in the past years, it gets about this time and you kind of get tired of Christmas. Just listening to the Christmas carols. I really didn't get that way this year. I'm still enjoying the Christmas carols. And one of the most touching Christmas carols out there is the song "I'll Be Home for Christmas." So I know most of all of you have heard that song. The song was written by Kim Gannon and Walter Kent in 1943 and was popularized by Bing Crosby, who scored a top 10 hit with that song. The song was originally written and sung from the point of view of a soldier who was stationed overseas during World War II. Some of you may not know the background of this song, but the setting of the song was this soldier who is writing a letter home to his family, and in the letter he tells his family that he'll be coming home and to prepare the holiday for him. In the letter he tells his family that he wants some requests. He's going to be home for Christmas, and he wants some things to happen when he comes home and he wants his family to prepare those things. He says he wants them to prepare snow, as if the family could just whip that up. But that's what he says. I want snow for Christmas, and so he asks for that. And he says, I want to have some mistletoe. I guess when you're a soldier in World War II stationed afar, you long to have some kissing, I guess. But he longs to have that mistletoe. He wants the family to get that prepped for him. And then he says he wants to have presents under the tree. And then after those requests, the song kind of ends with a rather sad thought, or at least maybe not sad, but a melancholy note. Maybe that's what I'm looking for. A rather melancholy note that the soldier ends his letter by saying, I'll be home for Christmas, if only in my dreams. In other words, I may not be home for Christmas, but if I don't, I'll make sure I'm there in my own head. You'll be there in my thoughts. All those things about Christmas will be my thoughts. So he goes through that whole song asking his family to prepare, and he says, but if I'm not there, I'll be there in my dreams. It's a real heartwarming song. I know most of us can listen to that and we can get emotional thinking about wanting to be home, someone who's in war, wanting to come home and things like that. For all of us, we can get a very emotional connection to that song because of one word, and one word only, and that's the word home. The word home brings up an emotional connection, and a longing for us. The term home is a powerful word. Simply defined, it's where one resides, the setting where you and your relatives have place of origin. But emotionally, it means a lot more than that, doesn't it? When we say the word home, we typically think of the place where you spend most of your years growing up and making memories, right? For me, when people say home, I often think of Carlsbad, New Mexico. And for everyone else, it's different. I mean, the word home kind of represents where you took your first steps. It's where you learned to drive your first car. It's the place where you had your first real kiss with that girl you had a crush on. It's that place where you graduated high school or college, and it's that place you met your spouse, or the first time you spent wooing them on a date or in and around town. It's the place that shaped you most into the person that you are today. Home is that place that makes you feel at ease, and you're with people that you love, who you love and that love you the most. It's the place where you can be yourself and not worry about people judging you or the world outside around you having to put out good manners and all those kinds of things. You can just be yourself. It's the place that you remember the smell of homemade bread baking in the oven that your mom was preparing. That's the kind of thing that home means to most people. It's a lot more than just the place you reside. However, all those things about home is true, but the Bible challenges the Christian to think a little differently. The Bible challenges us to think of home in a completely different way. 1 Peter chapter 2 and verse 11 says, Dear friends, I urge you as foreigners and exiles to abstain from sinful desires which wage war against your soul. Did you catch that? Dear friends, I urge you as foreigners and exiles. The Bible challenges the Christian not to think of anything in this world to be our home. As a Christian, I shouldn't say Carlsbad, New Mexico is my home. That's not my home. Heaven is my home. That's what the Bible is trying to get all of us to think about and to consider. All those things that we talked about above, they're nice. All those memories, all those good connections back to wherever that place may be, those are all good memories and good things to hold on to, but don't let that become your place of comfort in tough times. When things get tough and you want to go home, it's not any place in this world that it should be. That should not be the thing that we fall on when we're feeling lonely or scared or sad or depressed. We sing a song at church called "This World Is Not My Home," and yet so many times we act like it is. The place you think of when you say home, it's going to be burned up. It's going to be destroyed. For everything in this world is temporary. And God is calling us to remember that. And Jesus is challenging us to not put our hopes and our dreams and our loves and our life into this stuff that is temporary. Focus your life in the eternal. Think of the heavens as your only home. Friends, this world is not your home. So don't make yourselves too overly cozy in it. Don't indulge your ego and comfort yourselves at the expense of your soul. That's what the scripture is challenging us to do. So when you may hear that song one more time, when Christians sing, "I'll be home for Christmas," maybe we need to be thinking about being in heaven with Jesus instead of being at some earthly place where there's a fire and relatives. Maybe when we sing "I'll be home for Christmas," we need to be thinking of that time when we can go to heaven and be with Jesus Christ in our eternal home, because that is our true home. Here, we're simply foreigners and exiles. That's my lesson for you today, Holmes Road. I hope you have a great Christmas, and we'll see you next year. Bye-bye.